Let's talk about how things proceeded when you returned home after the operation, after that 10 days or so. How did you find your recovery went after that?
Well, it was, I suppose, uneventful. My wife did everything for me that I couldn't do. I found that the slightest exertion made me feel exhausted. That's the only downside to the surgery that I felt, actually. When I got home, I had a shower, and it took me all my time to do it, and also all my time to get out of the shower. But once I got downstairs, I could sit down and watch TV. I was all right whilst I wasn't exerting myself. But as regards everything else, I could manage to take myself to the loo. Well, one thing I couldn't do, with the chemo, it affects the fingertips. And I couldn't fasten little buttons. Oops, sorry about that. Couldn't fasten little buttons. Also, if I touched anything cold, it felt as though it was actually burning.
Yes.
And if I went outside and it was raining, and the rain went onto my face, it felt as though the water or the rain was scalding water.
Really?
You know.
Onto your face?
Yeah,
so
onto
it was
my face.
more than just your fingertips.
Well, I've got my hands in my pockets when I went, so I didn't feel it. But my fingertips, yeah, touching anything.
Yeah.
You know, it affected that. And I think even now it's affected my toes. Because my big toe and little toes are all right, but the ones in the middle feel cold all the time. Although when I touch them, they're not. You know.
What did you notice about your appetite and eating patterns?
Well, my appetite was normal. I've got a normal appetite. I obviously can't eat as much as I used to. As I said before, it's smaller meals but more frequently. The only thing I have difficulty with as regards eating is the swallowing of the ordinary white bread. I don't eat white bread very often anyway. Wholemeal bread is not so bad. Granary bread is a doddle, and these ciabatta, is it? Little loaves from Morrison's, get a plug in there. They're easy to swallow. It's a very light bread. I just have one of those a day, and that's as much as I want. Sometimes I might have cream crackers. But I eat normal meals, quite normal.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful when you swallow initially to start with, because obviously the esophagus is narrower. And you lose, so the surgeon told me, you lose a sphincter muscle which stops the food or the acid in your stomach coming back. Now, when you're sitting up, such as I am now, it's quite okay. When I go to bed, if I've had something to eat later on, or if we've been out sometimes and we eat later than, say, our normal time for dinner is around about 5:30, 6 o'clock, if I eat much later than that, say about 9, then I'm in trouble when I go to bed, because it comes back.
Yeah.
Occasionally I've had to get up and go downstairs and sleep in the armchair when I'm sitting up. Otherwise, it's bad. But I've only had that a couple of times, you know.
Do you ever have that syndrome called dumping syndrome, where the food goes through the bowel too quickly?
Yeah, not much. 6 times.
Really?
As I've said to Heather, twice in Aldi, once in Morrison's, twice in Bradgate Park, and once on the battlefield at Bosworth.
Really?
You don't really know it's coming, so you've got to be careful. Normally, my bowel movements are quite normal, but occasionally, bang, I've got it. And you've got to be quick.
You basically have to go to the toilet straight away.
Quick.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Aldi, they haven't got a loo, so I just made it twice in time to McDonald's next door. You know, Morrison's I just got in time there. The battleground, that was the same, just in time. And Bradgate Park, when there was no bracken about as well, but I did make it to the toilet.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, we'll laugh about it, and you've got to laugh about it because you can't do anything else. But yeah, you've got to be careful with that. You know,
I'd be interested in that sense of coping, how you cope with these awkward symptoms and complications. What do you think is the way to manage, you know, things that are unexpected and uncalled for? How do you carry on as normal the best you can?
Well, I just don't let them bother me. You can't do anything about it. You know, so why worry? You know,
You try not to dwell on it, is it?
Oh yeah. You know, as regards to dumping syndrome, it's a big joke. I know it's not very funny, but
You can see the lighter side of it, if you like.
yes, you must do.
Yeah.
You know, if you sit there worrying about things, you're ruining your entire life doing that. You can't do that.
No.
You know, it's not fun, obviously, but you know, as I say, just get on with it.
Did you ever have a period where it really got you down, or you were really anxious about?
No, I didn't let it.
Your physical health
I
condition?
wouldn't let it. You know, I know it's there. If the worst had come to the worst and they told me, I accept it. You've got to. I mean, we're all going to go, but you're
talking there about that very
the ultimate
question about if I wasn't around in the
Yeah.
future. For you, you can face that, can you? Not everybody can even think
possibly
along those
people
lines.
can't, but you know, I'm lucky, I suppose, really, in as much that I've always tended to be sort of positive. It does help. It also helps if your family or spouse, carer, and children, etc., are as positive. Because if they're positive, it helps you.
Yeah.
And if you're positive, it certainly helps them, because it's got to be mutual, the assistance between you and your family,
Yeah.
and your family and you.